Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into the life of someone iconic, Bill Gates.
Absolutely. And it's not just, the story of Microsoft or his wealth. It goes much deeper.
Exactly. We're looking at the journey, the big decisions, the impact, and we're using excerpts from Bill Gates, from code to philanthropy, as our sort of guide here.
A great starting point.
So let's start at the beginning. He was born October 28, 1955, in Seattle. Grew up in a family where, well, education and ambition were definitely front and center.
Right. His dad was a lawyer, his mom on corporate boards, so there was that expectation, perhaps.
Seems like it. But here's where it gets really interesting. At just 13, okay, this is the late 60s.
A different world, tech-wise.
Totally. He discovers computers at school
Yeah.
and just gets completely hooked,
Yeah.
spending hours programming, making simple games.
And you have to remember, how incredibly ahead of the curve that was. Most people barely knew what a computer was back then.
Right.
That early fascination, that deep dive he took almost on his own, it really shows something fundamental about him. Seeing these huge technological shifts coming when others didn't.
It wasn't just a hobby. It was like he saw the future.
Yeah, and felt he could actually shape it. That prescience, as the source suggests.
Okay, so fast forward a bit. He's at Harvard. He hears about this new company, Altair, and their personal computer kit.
The Altair 8800, kind of the spark for the whole PC revolution.
And what does Gates do? He makes this incredibly bold move. He calls them up and claims he and Paul Allen have software ready for their machine.
Even though they hadn't actually written it yet.
Not a single line. It's pretty amazing audacity, really.
It is. And that call, that gamble, it directly leads to them founding Microsoft in 1975.
Right.
And it's also why he decides, to leave Harvard, to go all in on this tiny fledgling company.
Yep.
Talk about conviction.
A massive leap of faith. And then comes the really big break, licensing MS-DOS to IBM.
That was huge. IBM needed an operating system for their PC quickly, and Microsoft delivered.
And just like that, MS-DOS becomes the standard. Microsoft just skyrockets.
Yeah, it put them firmly on the map.
Then, of course, there's Windows.
Yeah.
That graphical interface. Suddenly, computers weren't just for techies anymore.
It made them accessible, visually intuitive, not just command lines.
And that ties into his famous vision, right? A computer on every desk in every home.
Which, back then, people genuinely laughed at. It sounded completely outlandish.
But he made it happen. Or, well, drove it relentlessly.
And that really speaks to his long-term thinking. It wasn't about the quick win. He was playing a much longer game, mapping out where computing was headed.
While others were maybe focused on next quarter's results.
Exactly, that strategic patience, that commitment to a huge, almost unbelievable vision. That's arguably what made him a billionaire by 31. It was the foundation.
So, beyond the big moments, what about the mindset? The source highlights a few things, doesn't it?
It does. Extreme focus, obviously. Intense hard work.
And that habit of reading a book a week, constant learning.
Lifelong learning, yeah. Plus, surrounding himself with really smart people, he didn't pretend to know everything.
And making those incredibly smart strategic moves, like keeping the software rights from IBM.
Oh, absolutely critical. That gave Microsoft immense leverage for years and years. Just brilliant foresight, really.
There's also that quote about failure, isn't there?
Right. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure.
What does that tell us?
It shows, I think, a resilience, a view that setbacks aren't endings, they're data points. Opportunities to learn, adapt, improve. That's crucial for sustained success.
Okay, so that covers the tech mogul chapter in a nutshell. But his story doesn't end there, does it? He pivots.
Massively. Into philanthropy.
After stepping down from the day-to-day at Microsoft, he co-founds the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
And the scale of its work is just staggering.
Yeah, tackling huge global issues, eradicating diseases like malaria, polio, improving education, fighting poverty, climate change innovation.
And the financial commitment is immense, too. Over $50 billion donated personally.
It's incredible.
What's really striking is how you see the same strategic mind, that long-term vision, applied now to global problems instead of software.
Yeah, leveraging that success.
Exactly. It connects his legacy. He wasn't just a tech icon. He used that platform to become this major global humanitarian force. It's a powerful example of using success for, well, the greater good.
So summing it all up,
Yeah.
it's this incredible arc, changing the world with technology, and then using that success to try and help fix some of its biggest problems. His story really underlines that idea. Success is a journey of bold decisions, lifelong learning, and giving back. He kind of proved that model, didn't he?
He really did. Which leads to an interesting thought for you listening.
Yeah.
Considering Bill Gates' journey, the bold decisions, the constant learning, what personal vision or maybe area of curiosity could you apply that kind of long-term thinking to? For your own journey, whatever success and impact look like for you.